distinguished co-chairs, excellencies, colleagues, I deliver this statement on behalf of the G4, Brazil, Germany, Japan, and my own country, India. I welcome the strong engagement of the President of the General Assembly, His Excellency Mr. Philemon Yang, with the IGN process. The G4, as we congratulate the co-chairs on their reappointment, expresses our strong support to beginning this IGN cycle at an early date. We hope that the discussions that follow, especially the structured dialogue on the models presented by individual states and groups of states, will help to push forward text-based negotiations within a fixed time frame at the IGN. Such a discussion will also help to capitalize on the momentum created by the record number of world leaders at the recent general debate, 143, up from 95 last year, who called for reform. Moreover, key events such as the Pact for the Future and the forthcoming UN's 80th anniversary next year provide us with a unique opportunity to achieve tangible results. Notwithstanding the efforts of the co-chairs over the years, the IGN has failed to come out with concrete outcomes. 16 years have passed, and given that we have never even begun negotiations, we have not even gotten to a true starting line. Over these years, the G4 has been consistently calling for text-based negotiations. Text-based negotiations is not an alien concept to us and is the edifice of UN processes. Why exclude IGN from a process that is transparent and democratic? And it is only delaying concrete outcomes. Text-based negotiations is the only way divergent positions can be best harmonized. The Security Council is called upon to respond to increasingly complex and challenging global issues that requires an upgrade from the 1945 vintage to the contemporary realities of a new multipolar, changed world order. It is our collective responsibility to avoid another year of oral deliberations without a text, mainly based on entrenched positions. Failure to act may endanger the IGN process itself by calling into question its credibility. Co-chairs, a general remark on today's focus. First, the G4 believes that these discussions will be fruitful in finding the path forward if delegations focus on new elements in their positions. We also strongly encourage those groups that have not done so to present their model. Second, as all 5 clusters are interlinked and have been discussed extensively for many years, we do see merit in briefly discussing them in an integrated format, thus avoiding repetition of known positions. The G4 also encourages more interactive debates in order to test members' positions and flexibility. Turning to substance, the model to be adopted for the expansion of the Security Council remains a central issue for the reform process. It's clear that the overwhelming majority of the membership is in favor of expanding the Council in both categories of membership. This model of expansion has been supported by, among others, the African Group, the Arab Group, the CARICOM, the L69, the G4, the Nordic countries, the Benelux countries, 4 of the 5 permanent members, as well as many other members. The 2015 framework document also shows that more than 120 member states support the expansion of the Council in both categories. The current composition of the Security Council, with its glaring underrepresentation of key regions such as Africa, Asia Pacific, and Latin America, and the Caribbean, is increasingly detrimental to its legitimacy and effectiveness. The Council's inability to address critical conflicts and maintain international peace and security underscores the urgent need for its reform. Any reform that does not address the lack of representation, particularly in the permanent category, would only exacerbate the current imbalances in the Council's composition and render it ill-equipped to address today's international challenges. Equitable geographical representation, in particular the inclusion of unrepresented and underrepresented regions, such as Africa, Asia Pacific, and Latin America, and the Caribbean, in the permanent category, as well as those significantly contributing to the maintenance of international peace and security, are essential for a legitimate and effective Council. In this vein, the G4 reaffirms its strong support to the common African position. On the optimal size of an enlarged Security Council, the G4 welcomes that most countries support a total number of members in the mid-20s for an expanded Council. In particular, the G4 proposes an expansion that brings the total number of seats to 25 or 26 members. Concerning the non-permanent members, in line with the majority of states, we stress that due consideration should be given especially to the small and medium states, including the small island development states. However, other cross-regional groups based on identity, such as religion, do not merit a special consideration. Furthermore, any discussion on interim measures must not lead us down the path of a piecemeal approach or serve as a substitute for true reform. It would fail to address the critical issue of UN Security Council reforms in a comprehensive manner. All 5 clusters should be addressed holistically in accordance with UNGA Resolution 62/557. Co-chairs, the G4's views on all 5 clusters of Security Council reform are detailed in our contribution to last year's model discussion. We join the majority of member states in calling for a reformed Security Council that is more representative of the UN membership, with members elected through a democratic process based on the Charter. Under the model we advocate, any member state is welcome to be a candidate for a new permanent seat in a reformed council and be elected in a fair and democratic manner by the General Assembly. We also look forward to our interactive session on the 21st of November to have a deeper exchange of views on these issues. I thank you.